Gabby Goldsworthy, welcome to On the Sidelines with Sky. It's so good to have you in here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Sky. I was a bit honoured when I got the message to come in, so yeah, thanks.
First female, big deal.
I don't know.
Start with the best, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, tell us, who is Gabby Goldsworthy? Give everyone a little bit of a rundown of your life.
Oh, that's a tough question to start, but no, I'm just a girl, I guess. But I'm in my final year of veterinary science, so I've been doing that for the last 8-9 years. So I'm the final chapter now, but yeah, grew up on a farm outside of Corowa, played a lot of sport growing up, and yeah, went to school here in Albury and then moved up to Wagga to uni, and I've just been kind of back and forth from there for the last 8 years.
8 years at uni, that's a long time. So you're doing vet science. What's the end goal? Like, what's your end job want to be?
I'd love to be a mixed practice rural vet, hopefully around this area with a predominant caseload of livestock.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a big, and you nearly finished, you said you got one more year?
Finish in July next year. The rest of it is just all prac now, so every 3 weeks we move to a different clinic, somewhere in Australia, and yeah, just all hands-on stuff.
How hard is it to get a job when you finish that? Or that sounds like a pretty like something not many people do. Is it easy to get a job when you finished?
Yeah, there's like a huge shortage of vets, particularly in rural areas. So yeah, it's not much of an issue.
That's
getting a
good.
job.
You see people, they study and then they can't get a job after, and I just think all that time and money, like it's so stressful.
Yeah, I know. No, that's something that I'm not really too worried about, which is nice.
Yeah. So, and tell us about your family. You got siblings or?
Yep. So I've got an older brother and a younger sister.
Yeah.
They're both working in the family business now, and the three of us farm together as well. So
that's so cool. Yeah. So what's the family business?
Beechworth Honey.
Ah, cool. Oh, we got a guy who does Robbie's honey here. You got a little local competition.
Yeah, all Australian honey is good honey, so yeah.
That's exactly right. Oh, that's exciting. So you got you dip your toes in a few little areas. That's cool. Do you reckon it'll affect when you're done and you're doing your vet stuff?
Well, the three of us all have been involved for the last probably 8 to 10 years anyway. Mum and Dad have kept us really in the loop and always told us to follow our own dreams, but that if we can bring some skills back and add some value to the business, then there's always opportunities for us within that. So yeah, the two of them are starting to enter into that and do a little bit more from the day to day, and I just help out when I'm home, but they're all very supportive of me kind of chasing my own vet dream, which is really nice.
That's really lovely. So I guess, we know you're super smart, you're doing all that good stuff, but where did your love of footy come from?
I don't know. I grew up playing netball and pretty much every sport that you can in primary school, like softball, soccer, hockey, like all the random things. And then it wasn't until probably high school where we did like one gala day a year for female football that we got to play, and I just loved it every year. I just couldn't wait to tackle people and get a little bit better, and I guess I was a bit of a tomboy growing up, so I loved just like playing with the boys at lunchtime and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I think year 12 the opportunity to play a bit of rep footy around the border kind of came up, and then I went in to do the Bushies program the first year that I went to uni actually, and it wasn't until then that I really was like, oh, I can play this, and it is an option.
It's a whole different atmosphere with like footy in general, isn't it? Like I was the same, I was a netballer and a little ass and stuff, but when you come to that atmosphere of footy, it's just like a whole different experience.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's just such a cool game, like the team like aspect of it and getting around one another. And the thing that I love the most about it is that like you can come and go, there's no bitchiness that you kind of get with netball, and it's okay if you miss a game or you're not available. Like everyone's just happy when you are there. So.
It's more relaxed.
Yeah.
I think that's like, because we are in the very early days, like Northeast Border has not even been around 10 years yet, so you're at the very early day where they're trying to develop the league and get numbers, so like they'll do anything they can to have you on board. Like, it's not like the men's league where you're getting dropped if you don't rock up to training.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of girls now do play a lot of sports as well. Like some of the girls in our team play netball still and play basketball still, and so they're doubling up on weekends. And I think that it is really good for our sport to be able to have that flexibility. And
and I think that's where a lot of the talent comes from. Like, you find that the people that are really skilled in football are the people that have played multiple other sports, because it does take so many different aspects, so that when you've done all these other sports, like the rugby kids and all that, like they come into it so easily.
Yeah, those tackles, you can spot them from a mile away.
You know who they are doing, or like the arm tuck they do with the ball. Like, so when did you start in the Northeast Border Footy League?
It must have been a couple of years. This has been my 3rd season at Lavington. Just gone. So
okay. Well, speaking of 3 years, you've won 3 premierships in all 3 grades in the last 3 years. You might be a lucky charm out there or something.
I don't think it was me.
What do you think it is about Lavington that gives them that success? Because to have all 3 grades 3 years in a row, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think that they do work really hard with their coaches and developing the junior grades. So I think creating a program that's really high quality and an atmosphere that people want to be at, like that, it just is really, it kind of starts there. One thing that struck me when I first came to Lavington was that at first I was a bit like, what is this? But Scotty, our coach, was like, the 2 biggest things are like look after one another and have fun. And for me at the time, I was like, oh my God, like this is just, what is this? But as I kind of got around the club a bit more, I was like, this is all that matters, really, like looking after one another and having fun. Like, why else are we playing footy? They're
pretty good, strong points.
And I think everything else kind of follows after that. And I think the better footy that I've played is like the more I've just like chilled out and had fun. Like,
it's hard to let go a bit, because I think like when you are stressed, it's because you care and you want to do well, so it is really hard to let that go sometimes. But you're right, when you do let it go, you tend to play better. When you lose that, like, why is it that when you don't care you play better? Makes no sense.
I think you're just worrying about like having fun rather than worrying about whatever else is happening on the field.
Oh God. Well, so you train with the boys, because obviously you live in Wagga, you can't commute, it's a long way, so you train with the boys. What's the men's club that you train with?
So I train with the uni team up there, the CSU Bush Pigs, and I started that the year that I had played for my Bush Rangers, because I was up there for uni. It was hard to get back for training with them, and that was the first year that I actually played full time, so I felt like I was a little bit behind and needed to work on my skills. So they, being a uni club, like everyone's kind of between 18 and 25, and they were so welcoming and let me come down and train with them. Just would run around with the resis, and then since then we've got a women's team up there, and we play in the summer comp that runs from February to April. And so I would play that and then train with the boys for the rest of the year, and like they've just been so welcoming to me. When I've come home to Beechworth, like the Beechworth boys let me have a run around with them, and I just feel like my footy has developed so much being able to
What do you think it is? Because like that's really, really awesome to hear that not only one but 2 men's clubs have kind of welcomed you with open arms, because I've heard the idea floated around here to a couple of teams, and it's almost been laughable. Like, you know, we wanted some of our top quality girls to just do 1 or 2 training sessions with the boys because we couldn't offer them the standard they needed. They were better than what we could offer. And it was like laughed at. And I just think like, I really thought in today's day and age that we were past that, like the whole women don't play footy thing. So I don't know, like I feel like they're still looked down on a little bit. So what do you think it was about those 2 clubs that were so welcoming?
I think part of it is just proving to yourself and them that you belong there, and not second guessing it yourself. And honestly, like I just rock up, put my boots on, like ask one of the boys if they want to have a kick, and like you just insert yourself there. You don't you kind of do it first and ask for permission later, and you just need one person in your corner to be like, oh yeah, come for a run, and then the rest of the boys will come around, even if they don't love it, like they don't say anything to me, and I don't care what they say behind my back kind of thing. But like even this year I did placement out at Deniliquin. One of the vets that I was doing placement with, he played for the Denny Rams, and I was like, oh hey, can I come to training? And like they let me come run around with them. And at the start the boys are kind of looking at me and they're like not sure if they should tackle me or like not sure if I like what to do. So
you're in full like contact drills as well?
Yeah.
And what are they like? Do they tackle you?
Yeah, well like the Beechworth boys and the Wagga boys, like they kind of know the level of like competitiveness and hardness that I go, so I guess they kind of already know. But it was really interesting going to the Denny boys because like they were so standoffish, like they didn't want to touch me, and it was so nice to see like how cautious and considerate they were of me. But at the same time, like you're there playing footy, like it's just like you just
we know what we're getting ourselves in for. Like.
And the minute that I deck one of their boys and they like think it's the funniest thing in the world, I think they like work out what level of like physicality is
game on.
And like they're so nice, like they don't ever like drill me into the ground or whatever, but like there isn't a degree that you can just like put some pressure on, you know, kind of half do a tackle and then it's like okay.
But I mean like there are some boys in the Ovens and Murrays, like I know we've got a couple of Raiders, they're tiny, scrawny as short. I'm like, what's the difference really? Like, I'm quite small, but there are like some girls like you're quite strong and muscular, so I think you'd be stronger than a couple of boys on some of these teams.
So my experience has been really great, but I think that it doesn't mean that you don't have your doubts, and sometimes like you do rock up and you're like, oh, should I be here? But
so just go in with confidence. That's your message.
And my other little like reminder throughout the years has been like, well, I'm definitely not the best, but I know I'm not the worst, and so I deserve to be here.
If they can be there, why can't you?
And you're all here to just improve at the end of the day. So I think just go for it.
It's a good attitude, and hopefully one day everyone will have that attitude. We'll get there. But we were speaking before about like the league being in developing things. Like we're quite lucky, both you and me. We've kind of been around for a lot of the start of the league, and you got to play in the inaugural interleague. Like how was that? Like I just think like I try to remind myself, like imagine 50 years down the track, like we're gonna be able to be like, we're in that first team. Like it's a really cool moment.
That was really cool, and I did love like playing with you and having your dad there coaching and getting to know some of the personalities of the girls that we compete against every week. And it is quite a small comp, and we do verse each other a lot of times throughout the year, so it was really fun to play on the same team for once. And
it's nice to have that like connectivity. Hey, like I think like it even made a difference when we did that. Then like playing against each other the rest of the year, it was like a different vibe. Almost,
it was.
It was good to have it because like the boys have always had it, and they all know each other in amongst the league, and we've never really had that. So I can see why they do it. It was great. Did you play this year?
I didn't. I was a little bit upset, I guess, about the organisation and the level of kind of, I just think maybe care that the league put towards it. It felt very last minute. And so I had other things on it as well, so I chose not to play, but I did give them that feedback because I think when you're playing at a representative level, you kind of want that standard to be higher, you want the quality of the coaches to be better, and the out-of-pocket expense too was like quite large because of the travelling distance. But hopefully next year they have a bit more time to organise it, and I think it's supposed to be played here, so
that's cool. I didn't know any of that. So that's great. I'm only gonna wait 6 months, and I honestly feel like I've missed out on so much. So that's good. So did the girls win? Do we know?
I really don't know. I think they struggled because I think that they did have probably not their strongest team
side,
just due to availability and injuries and all of those things.
So we've done interleague, we've done grannies, now we've got to talk about your BNFs. I know you hate talking about accolades and stuff, but I guess I want to talk about, you got suspended in 2022, and that's like, it was like, it's not a big deal what happened, but it was like, we don't really have suspensions in our league. Like it was like, are you like one of only like two, or is it the like I don't know? It's
No,
not
I'm
many.
probably the only one. Honestly, that is like the most ridiculous thing. So there's a story to this. That was the first game that I played in this league.
Yeah.
I was driving down that day. I got a speeding fine.
Oh.
And then I get to the game. It was like, I don't even know where it was in the game, but I just did this tackle that like I always tackle.
Yeah.
And then the game was like kind of getting out of hand, and the umpire said to me that like she's got to give me a yellow card or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay.
It was against Bang Rovers, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't even know what that meant. Like the footy leagues that I've played in before, I don't even think we have like yellow or red cards. So I was a bit just like,
okay, whatever.
And then after the game, Scotty, my coach, came up to me. He's like, Gab, like, no, we've got to like find the umpires. Like, this isn't good. You've got 2 weeks. And I was like, what? So I was like very shocked about it. The umpire told me on the ground that there was nothing I could have done differently. The game was getting out of hand. It just looked really bad. And then next minute I'm in tribunal. And I was like,
so full on.
What is this?
It was classed as a swing tackle, wasn't it?
A dangerous tackle, and I get that was like an experience in itself going to tribunal. I was like, oh my god, I felt like the worst person in the world for like this split second decision.
Yeah.
But, I think it was kind of hard to take on because I felt like I potentially wasn't in the wrong, and the umpire reassuring me that I couldn't have done anything different and telling me that they would go into bat for me at tribunal and stuff. I was a bit,
that's a confusing message by the umpires to yellow card you and say that.
Yeah, so the whole thing was a bit, anyway.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure over the last few years with the umpires with like, there are a lot of concussions, like there are a lot of sling tackles out there and dump tackles and concussions, so there's a lot of pressure on them to kind of clean it up a little bit. So.
And that game, like, it was weird, like, it had gotten out of hand, like people were throwing punches and stuff like that, which I just hate. Like I'm just like, we're playing women's footy.
Me
like,
too.
Let's
I'd run
just
away.
Calm down. And so I'm very like anti-conflict on the field. Like if someone like tackles me and I'm like, sorry, like.
Yeah, well, I think we probably had one of the biggest brawls in our granny game that the league's had, and I was standing in the middle of the ground with my arms crossed, going, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm like not a fan. I'm like, have you seen the stars of me? Like I'm not coming out on top. But
and also I'm a lover. I have no desire to go and push anyone. Like,
well, we're here to play footy, so yeah.
Isn't it weird? Like we'll tackle the hell out of someone, but we're not gonna like get in a scruff. Like why? It's not really much different. But I think it comes down to your personality. Hey.
Yeah. Some of the girls definitely get fired up.
Yeah. Well, I kind of love it though. Like I love watching it, but it's just not in me.
No, neither.
But the reason I was going to ask you about that suspension was because you would have won the BNF if it wasn't for that. Did that bother you at all? Like,
I think what bothered me the most is that like one of the things I tried to do is like really be a good sport, and I think that like deep down I know that like I feel as though I couldn't have done anything differently, and I probably wouldn't have done anything differently in that split second decision that I made, but at tribunal they did decide that like it was a dangerous tackle, and as someone who is laying a tackle, you take on the welfare of that player, and so I think through that process like it was just a lot of reflection of like, okay, well that's the decision that's been made, and like I can still hold my head up high about how I play, and so I think that I don't like, in my mind, like I wouldn't have done anything differently, and that's just a decision that's been made, and that was the result of it. But I was still happy with how I played that year. And so,
I remember seeing you at the league presentation night, getting a photo under the leaderboard. And my heart just broke for you. I was like, that's gotta suck, because we don't get suspensions in our league. Like I reckon you're either the only one or there's one other. Like it just doesn't happen. So to see
they
you go
rang
through
me.
that.
They were really nice about it. They rang me to like see if I wanted to come to the presentation night or not.
Yeah.
And I got off the phone to my coach and it was just like tears.
Aww.
But I thought that it would be like, I still think that it was good. I wanted to go and see how it went. And
it's good to hear that you were upset, because that sounded really bad, but like because you put on such a good face to everyone, like you're such a good sport and you don't make it about yourself, do you know what I mean? But it's like nice to hear that you do really care, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it was probably like the first time that I felt like I had played some good footy, and like I'd never kind of received an award like that before, and so it was like, but
So you were
That's
just
my
that
way.
good to us. We were like, oh, she's probably won heaps before. Do you know what I mean?
No, like, yeah, the comp that I've, like the Wagga League that I've played most of my footy in, like they're even more junior to this league, and so I think this year was their first
Yeah.
league kind of award night. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
haven't
you
done
went on, what years? That's 22, and then 23 you went on to win. So how did that feel if that would have been your first one? Like, how did you feel?
yeah, I think it was really nice. Again, like I don't play footy for that at all, but it's just nice to be recognized, I guess.
It makes you feel good. Like, you know, you're only human. I think if anyone
Yeah.
says it doesn't, that doesn't matter to them. I'm like, you're lame.
Yeah. No, I think because like I do love the game and put a lot of effort in, like train pretty hard. It is nice to know that you're getting somewhere and you are improving. Yeah.
So you won 23, 24. You also won Best On the grand final this year.
Yeah.
What's that award called? Because I was trying to do my homework and I'm like, does it have a name yet? Or it's just because we're so
No, I think
fresh,
it's
it's
just
just
on
Best
ground.
On.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to be like named after someone. Might be named after you. The way
No.
you're going on.
I think best on ground, everyone knows what that means, so.
Yeah, but you know how it's normally like named after, like Norm Smith.
Oh,
like, do you know what I mean?
true.
It's normally named after someone of importance.
Yeah.
One
maybe.
day when our league's not, you know, a few years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right. Well, so obviously you're doing amazing. What's for the young girls that are looking up to you? Like, what's your fitness program / splits recovery? Like, what do you do during the week?
So I do CrossFit, which everyone's probably gonna just cringe when I say that, but
It's in at the moment. Everyone loves it.
yeah, no, I really like it. It's more about like lifestyle kind of fitness, and what your body can do rather than what it looks like, which I just love being a female athlete. So I pretty much do a CrossFit session every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah.
Wowie.
And then in the arvo, like during the season, I'll train twice a week with the boys and then probably go for a run on the other nights. And that's more just for like to clear my head after I've been studying all day. Like I kind of hit that 4 or 5 o'clock mark and I just need to get out and go for a run or go for a walk and just move my body. So, I am pretty like active and do train quite a bit.
CrossFit every day, that's a big one. Maybe don't do that, kids. Every few days.
I don't know. It's just another thing.
You would have trained your body up for a long time to do that. Like, I'm sure you didn't jump into CrossFit doing it every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you built it up.
No,
or did you?
Yeah.
Is that like, did you not get like sore or like?
I think the thing with CrossFit is that like everyone does the same workouts, but you're scaling it to your level.
Okay.
And so like it's really about building up like your capacity and strength over time. Like you're not just jumping in to be
doing
like lifting
heavy
like
and-
100 kilos. Like you just like gradually building up, and like you never feel like any better because you're just always doing something faster or with more weight or more reps. And so
It never feels any easier.
no, it doesn't.
But
But I think equally, like you're meeting where your like fitness level is at.
You're getting stronger and fitter, and that's awesome. Do you do much recovery?
I think like during the season, like I try and get to the pool and do a swim. That really helps my body, and then like walking, stretching with CrossFit as well. Like every morning you're warming up properly, you're doing mobility. So that kind of helps.
Yeah, so that's like a lot between the study you're doing and a lot of fitness. Like how do you deal with your mental health and look after yourself that way?
Part of, I think, the reason I have to do so much physical activity is linked to how I feel mentally.
Yeah.
And like I do know that I feel best within myself and my brain when I've been able to like let off some energy and exercise and move my body. I've definitely had periods where, and like still do, you have days where you just don't feel that great, and then once I get out and move, I normally like that helps a lot.
Yeah. Do you ever struggle with motivation?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like I think
that's my
pretty
biggest
normal.
problem.
That's another thing why I love CrossFit so much, because the hardest part is getting there, and once you're there, like the coaches have the session planned out, like you don't have to think about anything, you just do it.
It's easy.
Yeah.
maybe I need to get into CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's been going to the Raiders gym because it's free, but yeah, like you said.
Yeah, but then like you get there and you've written yourself a workout and then you get halfway through and you're like, that's too hard. And then you
I don't
stop.
feel like that.
Yeah, and then you like either do something easier or like, yeah.
I would like to do, I forget what it's called now. Athlete's Edge, I think it's called, here in Albury. Tim Madden runs it, who used to... Yes, I want to get into that. I mean, I'm still recovering from my hip surgery, so I can't do much at the moment. But when I get back into the gym, I want to do that because he like specifically tailors athletes and AFL especially.
Yeah.
So
Tim's amazing. I had him coach me like early days.
Oh, when you're at Bushies.
Yeah. And just like have so much respect for him, and he's like been really fundamental to a few of the AFLW girls from this region.
Yeah. Well, even like I see, he's got Darcy Wilson there, who now plays for St Kilda in the men's, and like he's in the off season and he's back here to do a program with Tim. I'm like, that just speaks volumes.
Get on
like, I know. I might just go in one day.
Yeah, just rock up.
It's probably like, help me. I think I'm not in a hurry because I've still got like, I can't return to run for another 4 weeks, and I'm not really. I'm doing very, very light recovery stuff, so I'm like, I'm not ready yet.
No, that's
like, I don't want to go there and be like, I'm really excited to start, but I can't do this.
No, he'd probably help you with that though, like work out the things you
do
can
upper
do.
body.
Get really,
really strong. Alrighty, well, we always finish here with a little bit of a game. So it's called Red Light, Green Light.
Okay.
So I'll tell you something and you'll tell me, you answer red light, green light. So red light means no, I'm not for it, and green light, it's like, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Do you know what I mean? Like, all good. All right. So, dipping fries in ice cream.
I've never done it. Like, I feel like I can't.
What?
I don't think I can have an opinion if I
like
haven't
McDonald's
done
chips in the McFlurry. You've never done it.
I think that means it's a red light, because if it was a green light, I would have done that by now.
You should try it. Okay. It's green. It's like salty and sweet
Okay.
and warm and cold. You have to let me know how you go after you try that. All right, booing the umpires at a game.
Nah.
Right?
Red light, like not
Even if I'm with like a group of friends and like one of the boys does it, I just will flip my head around.
Nah, I would leave them. Like, that's just, nah.
You're no longer with us.
Honestly, it's the hardest thing. I don't know. Well, you've umpired before?
Yeah.
I haven't umpired footy, but I've umpired netball, and sometimes like you literally just don't know. Like it could.
Yeah.
It's like.
You don't have 360 vision.
You're like, that could go either way because you're both kind of doing the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes they just have to make a call, and like that's the thing with the umpires, and even with my suspension that I've had to like come to terms with. Like they make the rules of the game, and so you just have to cop it and live with it. Like,
I have so much respect for the umpires. Like, I'm a little sensitive Sally. Like, I did one under 14s game and parents were like yelling at me and I was like, oh, like I was gonna cry. So being so mean. Like, I couldn't imagine doing it on like AFL level.
No.
I have so much respect for AFL umpires. Like, the percentage that they are correct, I'm just like, and then they get one wrong call and it's like someone's life has ended.
Yeah,
I'm like,
honestly. Also,
relax.
We're human. Like,
and it's just sport at the end of the day. Even
exactly.
if it is a call that made your team lose, like, does it really matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh. Cool. All right. Long sleeve jumpers.
Like, I don't wear them, but I don't have anything against anyone that does.
So. Animosity.
Yeah, like, it doesn't worry me.
And some people are really superstitious. I tried to wear one because my dad wore one every game in his career, and I was like, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah.
And it's too hot.
I just reckon it would kind of get in the way. Like, those sleeves, like, they're flapping about. They're not really skin-tight things, are they?
No, and I'm quite small, so when I had mine on, I had to roll the sleeves up, and they weren't tight around my arms.
That'd be getting in the way.
It's not. But like back in Dad's day, they wore wool ones, and he wore long sleeves every game. I'm like, in March and that when it's hot, like.
What about when it's raining? Like, you're gonna be like a wet sheep running around.
It's not too. I do sometimes wear them in the wet because it still keeps you warm. True. Even though it's wet, it's still like a wind blocker almost. So I will wear it. We had one game in Warrally and it was belting down rain, like foggy. You couldn't see the other side of the ground, and I've never been so happy to be in a long sleeve. I had my short sleeve over the top as well.
Oh, so maybe cold. I'll have to get on.
Yeah, rug up. Movies with subtitles.
Oh, I used to be very anti this, but I have got around it lately. So I think I'm beginning to say red light.
I'm big.
Red light, green light.
Yeah.
I was a red lighter.
I'm a big greener.
You're a fan?
Yeah. I just like, I don't know, it makes me hear better. Do you know what I mean, though?
Like, yeah, no, I get it.
Like, even though I'm not like sitting there reading it, like if you miss something and you're like, oh, what they say, and like you can kind of glance down.
Do you think this is maybe because our attention span is getting worse, being on social media and on our screen so much?
Someone actually said that to me the other day. They're like, I can no longer sit there and watch a whole movie because I can't sit still and watch the same thing. She's like, I'll watch a little bit and then I have to kind of like scroll on TikTok because it's all like different videos, and then I'll go back to the movie, and I'm like, I'd never thought about that, but it's so true.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe we should just get outside.
I think so.
Bubble baths.
Yeah.
Big green
light. Yeah.
I heard someone talking about it the other day and they made it sound like such a childish thing, and I was like, I love a bath.
Yeah, excuse you. They're the best.
God, that's so
just
funny.
Run a bath, put the bubbles in there.
And that's a recovery thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad does make me have ice baths a lot.
Oh,
too.
no, I can't do that.
If I'm even limping out of the game, he's like, all right, well, we're going to get some ice on the way home then. I'm like, I don't want to get in.
I'm glad you smell my dad.
Well, since saying that, like, I used to hate it, but after going to Sharks and that, like, they have ice, like, pools. They're full on pools, and it's just like routine. Like after training, everyone goes and gets in the pool, like after game, and I actually love it now. Like now, I feel really sore if I don't have one. But it might be a problem this year because the Raiders' ice baths are wheelie bins that are full-grown man size. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it.
You're going to need a step ladder to get in there.
Because it's got steps that go up to the bin, but then there's like a big like bench that covers them in. So then I'm like, how do you get out?
Just gotta like...
Someone's going to have to yank me out.
Yeah. Put a crane on.
Bin's like the height of me. Oh, that's funny. Well, I guess the last question I have for you is, who is your favourite player? It can be like local, it can be AFL, it can be someone that you watch and it inspires you.
There's a girl on our team. Well, there's like a few of my teammates that I really love playing with, but also watching. Do you know Bella Fielder?
Yes.
Oh, she just, every time she gets the ball, I just like find myself watching her and fangirling over her. She's a basketballer, really good basketballer as well, but she just, I don't know how she evades so many tackles. Like she'll just do a fend off and then like run and somehow kick a goal like every time, and I don't know, I just find her really fun.
Yeah, that's what we love. Yeah, you do have a few talented. I thought you were going to say Creasy for a bit there.
Oh, I do love Creasy, and I love playing with Creasy as well, but
yeah, no, she's a weapon as well. But that's about all I have for you. Thank you very much for coming in, Gabs.
Thanks for having me, Sky.
Wait, I should ask actually before you leave. Labby next year, are you signed, sealed, delivered?
I haven't. I don't really know. I'll play in the Wagga comp at the start of the year. That'll finish in April, and then I just have to see where I'm going to get a job and if I'll be around.
So you finish uni July. Like when will you know, like when you're going to get a job? Or
hopefully at the start of next year I'll have something like pretty well locked in.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to. Mum, my parents kind of hate me playing footy.
Why?
And so, I guess they just don't want me to get hurt. But, so I have to call Mum after every game and say I'm not in hospital.
I'm okay.
Yeah. And so I told her that last season was going to be the last.
Ooh.
The last season I played. And so every game I call her and I say I'm not in hospital, and she goes, "Is that your last game?" And I'm like,
No.
But yeah, so that could be a bit of a tricky conversation to have.
Pressure on the decision. Will it change your decision, or it'll be just more how you deal with it after the decision?
No, probably not, because
I'm the same.
Yeah,
Dad in my hip is like, you need to stop. I'm like, no.
I don't know, like I don't think you can live your life for your parents, but
no, and they've been through it, and like you said, they just worry about you getting hurt and then you're off work and stuff like that. But,
and I mean, they deal with the tears and all of the sucking.
I am living with my mum and dad at the moment because I haven't been able to work and I've got no money. So I can see why they say it, but at the end of the day, if it's where you get your joy from and your health and your fitness, like to me that just outweighs the
I agree.
risks.
So that'll be fun telling her that if I'm playing again. But...
Okay, well, can you tell us a little bit about Lavi's plans for next year? Like, have you started up pre-season yet?
I think they're probably soon. I don't really know because I haven't really been around, but I think they're definitely in conversations about next year and getting all the crew keen, having a kick, and surely can't be 4 from Fork.
You gotta share, guys. Okay, it's
I
time
don't
to
know.
share.
Everyone else has got to level up, Sky.
Oh, we're trying.
I think they missed you last year.
I think they miss Dad, to be honest. Like, he just brings a whole level of professionalism.
Oh,
and,
for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see how we go this year. We have like 12 under 17s coming up.
That's really great.
Yeah. So
I think, have
hopefully.
you noticed, like, over the last couple of years that the standard has been improving in the Opens because we're having those younger girls come up through the ranks that have played since Auskick?
Yeah, because it's like people like us that are a bit older, we literally come from other sports and we're trying to learn a new sport as an adult. Like, it's not easy, and I think sometimes men don't give us enough respect for that. But yeah, like you said, now there's like the younger girls that have come playing from Auskick the whole way through, and they're just starting to trickle through the seniors now. So the standards is going to keep getting better and better, and we're starting to see it in the AFLW too. Like,
oh, for sure.
I think this season's been the best standard that I've seen so far. So it's only going to get better.
Exciting. Well, Raiders on the radar this year.
Not saying anything too soon. We start training next week, so we'll see. I like us. You can do all the planning in the world, but I feel like until like right before the season starts, like people don't rock up. You don't know who's going to be on your team.
No, and like people are so keen at like pre-season and come every week, and then all of a sudden the season comes around and like other things come up, and so yeah.
Have you guys recruited much at all yet, or?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still a long way away. I mean, it is a really like decent sized season as well, and I think people get to the end of the year and they are just excited to have a break from footy as well. And so yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, no, we're all like ready to go. We're only starting training up early because we're trying to get a couple of weeks in before the Bushies girls start training, because they start at the end of November. So we're like, if we can get some sessions in where they can be fully present. Yeah. So once they start up, like we've got 6 of them. How many do you guys have? Do you know this year?
No.
Because you probably have a few coming up as well.
Yeah. Not sure how many. Sorry, I really
don't
know much.
Right. I only know because I'm coaching now. I have to know these things. But yeah, it's all right. You can give me an update once you start training.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in, Gabs. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to this season.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully, see you out there.
Yeah, you will. Well, hopefully, I guess if I can get this hip fixed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll speak to you soon, and we'll get some feedback probably post-season.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.